What's up guys, it's Hannah Singer and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, it's a little different than I usually do. I am outside, which was totally a spur of the moment thing. I was laying out here on my Eno, if anyone knows what that is. It's basically just a hammock that you can take with you on the go. It's kind of like a life advice video, but it's more of a reflection on my year and stuff that I've learned and hopefully that I can share with you. I know that I only have like 200 subscribers or something like that, but if I affect one person positively, that is meaningful to me. I hope you enjoyed the video. So I wrote my top 10 things. A lot of them intertwine and intermix and connect to each other in a way, so I'm gonna try to stay on topic because if you know me, you know that I love to talk and I could talk for hours and hours and hours about one thing. I wrote little notes on here too, so I'm gonna be looking on here a lot, so don't mind me. But my first tip of advice is don't care too much, and this could go many different ways. First of all, don't care for people who aren't gonna care equally as much for you, because it's a waste of your time, which I will get into later. But if you're spending your time pouring your heart and soul into someone when in reality they don't want anything to do with you, you're wasting time that you could have spent doing something productive and something to build you as a person on someone who doesn't deserve you. That was pretty deep. Okay. Another thing is do not care so much about materialistic items. So the time you spend caring for an inanimate object could be spent with your family or with people that you love and having great conversations, kind of like what I was saying before, stuff that is going to build you as a person instead of devoting that into something that's social media or something that is fake and unrealistic. Not that social media is fake, but something that's not realistic. A lot of people like to go on social media and we only give our highlights and the best things in our life out into the world. We don't show truly our weaknesses and our insecurities on social media. Don't care about what people think of you. And I don't mean this in the way that you should not give any hoops about anyone or not care for anyone, but you shouldn't spend so much time focused on how others view you. You shouldn't change for anyone else. You shouldn't care if they are talking gossip or rumors. Yeah, and it's gonna hurt, but in the long run, that doesn't matter. So if you're spending your time caring about what people think of you, you're not gonna be able to truly find yourself as a person and grow. So I hope these are making sense so far. Number 2, don't focus your attention on negative people or negative things. Do what makes you happy. There are going to be people in your life who are going to find a way to hurt you or make you feel lesser than them. And if you let them, you're just going to continue to feed into their negative energy. They want you to feel inferior to them instead of you handling the situation like be the bigger person, take the high road out, because that's going to separate you from them. Number 4. Life is too short. Life is too short to sweat all the small stuff. And I feel like that's something that I'm still working on today. I feel like there's things that happen in my life and they're super minor, and I tend to put it at the top of my problem list or the things that stress me out when I shouldn't. And I always have to stop and think about other people around the world. Sometimes we forget that there are people on this earth who have nothing and have to work so hard to just get a bite to eat. To think about that and think about how I could be complaining of something so minor. Life is too short to be focused on those things when you can be doing something to help the world or doing something to help grow yourself as a person. Have fun because time flies. Enjoy the time that you have now and live in the moment and experience as much as you can, because time flies by so fast and you don't want to miss anything and then think, wow, I wish I would have taken advantage of things when I was younger. Are they like talking to each other? Be grateful for what you have. So kind of like what I was talking about with sweating the small stuff. Be grateful for everything that you're given, because sometimes we tend to take things for granted. One of my friends was doing a project for Advanced Health, I think it was, and they needed a quote for their project, and they found one and they read it to me, and it was, "You can't start the next chapter in your life if you keep rereading the last one." And that has like stuck with me for a while now. I actually wrote like 4 pages of just like a journal based on that quote, and it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders because I realized I was so focused on my past. Okay, sorry. Number 5, focus on yourself. I've kind of been hinting at this a lot throughout this talk or whatever, but sometimes we forget who we are when we're so focused on pleasing someone else. And I kind of realized this throughout relationships, and obviously like I'm young and stuff, and I'm not going to go into detail or anything, there's no need to, but just in general, like friendships, relationships, that sometimes you forget who you are because you're so focused on pleasing everyone else. This is a little bit more on the relationship side, but you could take it as like a friendship thing. You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. A lot of times you depend on someone to nurture you and to make you feel loved. If you don't love yourself and you're pouring all your love into someone else, when they're gone, there's nothing left for you. And so you truly need to work on building up yourself as a person and loving yourself, so that, going into my next thing that I'm going to say, you shouldn't need anyone to make you happy or anyone to love you. You should be able to love yourself and build that up over the years. Like if there's a special someone or something, it should be like a feeling of want. You should want to be with them. You should already be happy. You should already love yourself and be confident in who you are. They shouldn't be a necessity in your life. They should just be like, kind of like when people say like the cherry on top of the cake or the icing on the cake, stuff like that. They should be an addition, a positive addition. They shouldn't be a necessity in your life that you can't live without, that when they're gone that you are completely destroyed and you have nothing left. Number 6, put God first. I mean, I'm not trying to like say be religious, you have to or anything, but this is just personally for me. In the beginning of the year, I definitely was like the type of person where I was more like, go to church as much as I can, but I'm super busy, so I'll try to go, but I don't always have the time. But I'll definitely go when it's like Mother's Day, Father's Day, all like the holidays and stuff like that. But God was never, I guess, a priority for me. I never really focused on Him as a priority, and that's something that I learned. I never really put Him as a foundation of my life, and He should be, and I'm still working on that today. But God has a plan, and I've always believed this. Is something I've always believed, is that He has a plan, and sometimes you're gonna feel like He hates you. It happens to me a lot. It happens to everyone. And you feel like that if something like traumatic happens in your life or terrible happens, you always look to God and ask Him why He would do that. And for me, I always have to keep reminding myself that He has a plan, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. So for example, just so really quick, I don't want to go too far into it, but I was seriously injured about a couple years ago in dance, and I never really realized why. I never really thought of why He did that. I was always mad at God for that, but I never really thought about why He did that to me. And recently I was thinking about it, and I always loved dance, but I never truly was so passionate about it. I never really knew how passionate about it I was and how much I really loved it. And He took it away from me for a little bit to show me that I was taking it for granted. That is something that I truly am thankful for, as much as it sucks having an injury and having to live with it. But I had to work to get back to dance. I had to work my A off. Sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but I had to work my butt off to go back into dance, and I still am injured today, and I'm still working around that injury. But God showed me that this is what you have been taking for granted for so long, and this is how much harder you can be working. And I had to work that much harder to get back into it. And it truly made me love dance that much more because he showed me life without it, and I knew that's not what I wanted. So I'm telling you, he has a plan for everything in life. Another thing that I wanted to say just really quick about God is everyone needs to watch she's from Duck Dynasty. I don't remember her name. Oh yeah, I do. It's Sadie Robertson. There's a video. I'll try to link it down below. But it is truly just like a life-changing video. I saw it and I was like, oh my, it's kind of lengthy, it's like 30 minutes, but I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, it truly has like, it transformed a lot of like my thoughts and everything. It's so crazy, and she's such a great speaker. But one thing that really stuck with me is she said, time does not heal, Jesus heals. And I truly believe in that, and I never really thought of that. I always thought that if you give something time, it will heal, instead of looking to God and looking to him for an answer and a way to work through the struggle or the pain or whatever was going on in your life. 7, I've talked about this a whole video, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but basically time is so precious, so try not to waste it. I already talked about what you could waste it on and how you can learn from that, so I'm not going to go into that. Basically spend time doing things that are going to benefit you and fulfill your soul. 8, find beauty in simplicity. This is something I truly have learned this year. The earth is such a beautiful place. It truly is. And sometimes the most simple places or the most simple things can be so, like, truly so beautiful. And I've noticed that a lot just in like my area where I live. There's so many, I always take for granted like the world around me, and there's so many beautiful places on this earth that you can go explore and adventure, but sometimes just like the simplicity of your backyard or the area around you could be so beautiful. And so definitely do not take where you live or your surroundings for granted, because sometimes there's such beauty in such simple things. Oh, this is another thing. I was in Cayman Islands. If you've seen any of my videos or follow me on my Instagram, which I'll put in the description below. But something I did every day was I did yoga every day that I was there, and it is truly such a healing practice. It heals your body, your mind, and your soul, and it can strengthen you mentally and physically. So if you have never done yoga or have been wanting to do it, definitely go for it, because it is such an amazing thing, and I'm obsessed with it, and I cannot wait to go sign myself up for some more classes. 9, try new things. Sometimes we trap ourselves in the bubble of our area, where we live. Don't drown yourself in that bubble. Don't seclude yourself from the world around you and the things happening in the world around you. Step outside of your comfort zone and do something new, because you may surprise yourself. And I feel like that's something I definitely have learned as I've definitely have stepped outside of my comfort zone in many ways. Maybe it's just a little step. It doesn't have to be something crazy or huge, but even just a little step, that's another step further into growing yourself as a person and truly finding who you are. Just a little like side note, when I'm saying like finding yourself and like knowing who you are, that's something that takes time. It's not something that's going to happen right away, or something that has happened for me right away. Like I still surprise myself, and I still am learning things. Obviously, you're never done learning. You always can learn and learn more. So when I mean that, I'm saying just growing yourself as a person, being the best you that you can be. Number 10, we are here. It is smile more. I love this one just because sometimes we forget to smile and laugh and have fun. If you're so serious or too serious, you're not gonna have any fun. You know how sometimes you just see those people and they're just so serious, or like they look so serious, and it's just like, do you have fun with your life? Like, what? Why are you so grumpy? Like, it just spread some light onto those people, because life is not meant to be taken so seriously and so harshly. Loosen up a bit and have fun, because that's what life's about. It's about having fun, and obviously for me that's what life's about. I can't say, everyone has their own definition of life and what it means for them, but I truly think that life, an aspect of life, is having fun, and you can't do that if you're too serious about everything. Life is such a beautiful thing, and if you take it too seriously, the beauty of it is going to be stripped away. Participate in things that truly warm your heart and fill your joy. Fill your joy. Fill your soul with joy. Surround yourself by people who make you laugh and who care about you, and people who accept and love you. Wow, I know that was a lot, and you have a lot to think about and digest and understand, and I threw that all at you, and I tried to make it short, and I know this video is not short at all, so I hope you watched it all because that would mean a lot to me, and I hope you learned something from it because I truly learned a lot this year. As you can tell, I could go on for hours and hours, and I love talking and I love sharing everything that I have learned with the world. Thank you so much for watching again, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and like this video if you want me to do more videos like this. Goodbye.